So hello everyone, this is our first Python session of the Tech Club Summer Camp. I'm your teacher for today. I am Moran Nepal. I'm from 12S. Nice to meet you all. And today what we'll basically be doing is the basics of Python, which includes about what Python is and the starting part of it, the data types, and how to get input and output. In case anyone knows all of this, they can stay here for just talking with us and stuff. And those who do not know, I'll be teaching it to you. So let's start. Okay. So first of all, what is Python? It is a form of a coding language. What kind of a coding language is it? If anyone of you knows it, they can answer. Like what kind of a coding language Python is, any basics of it. Also, you can hear me, right? Okay. Yeah, so if anybody if he knows, you can answer what kind of a language Python is, if anybody has any information on that. Yes, I'm Shuman. Python is a slow language. I think you are pretty correct, yes. But do you know why is it slow? There has to be a reason for something to be slow. Something can't just be slow in general. That's just, yeah, it's a high level programming language. That's a good answer. Yes. Shuman, bold one. This is so sad. Anyways, yeah. Python basically is a high level programming language. It's one of the easiest languages to learn, in my opinion, because the syntax is pretty easy. Like you can just see this side. Although you won't, also the background is just for in general stuff. If you're interested about this, this is basically the class 11 syllabus of CS. Okay. Just like everything that's done in class 11 CS, I'm just putting it here as a background. If you want, you can research about this if you're interested in stuff. So yeah, as you can see, those who know Python, I think already, they will get that this is pretty easy and all. It's just loops and stuff. And those who do not know, I'll be starting about it from the start. So don't get intimidated, I guess, if you are getting intimidated, which I don't think you should, because wholesome. Anyway, yeah. So this is the basic gist of what Python is. It's a programming language, a high level one at that. It's pretty slow as compared to some other languages like C++ and all. And it's one of the easier ones to learn. It is mainly used, it's not really used that much because of the slowness. It's mainly used for like data analysis and all, and also for machine learning, which I think my co-teacher Arya will teach during his classes. So do join those for fun and all, because you know it's the summer camp. We are not going to do that much in-depth like stuff. We will be doing it for fun, and yes. So don't be too formal. If you want to talk anything, you can talk with me in the chat. So let's start sharing the ideas. Also, yeah, before I share, yeah, this is an ideally, this is where we usually write the code. For those who don't have, this is VS Code, by the way. For those who do not have VS Code right now, they can go on gdp.com. I have posted the link on the Discord. I'll ping everyone there once. I think, yeah. You can go on the site. This has how to like program and stuff. I'll also show it once after I start the class. So yeah, first of all, what first we'll learn about is data types. So anyone of you know what data types are in a programming language? Anyone? If you can, you can write in the chat, or you can tell me the answer. What data type is in general. Yes, a equal to 10.py. That's the first file I saved in this computer. Do not judge this. Anyone of you, anything about data types? I think you learned about the value of a variable. It's not exactly the value, but it's close. Like you answered pretty close to like what's the actual answer. Yeah, so what is a data type? As we know throughout our daily lives, we have like different kind of things that we do. We can talk, we can add into, we can do maths, we have different subjects, right? Data types are similar to that. For example, if we have a data type known as a string, okay. String is like, in terms of some subjects, for example, string can be termed as English. A string data type, which is given as str, sorry, not string. A string data type specifies the, was the type of variables. Yes, that's correct. It is the type of variables. The string is, for example, first the data type this we're doing is the string. String is str. It is denoted as str in Python. So string data type refers to things like hello. So basically, it takes characters, a group of characters, stores it, and you can do stuff with string. For example, we have string. This is a string data type, and it is storing the value hello. Okay. I think you all got that. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can tell me. Next, we have the data type int. Okay, wait, I discuss. A is equal to str hello. Here's the variable is a, and it itself is a string. String is the type of the data. This is the data type, and it stores the value hello inside. Okay, so a is the variable, str is the data type, and the thing in the brackets is the value being stored. Okay, you don't need to in Python, you don't need to declare a is equal to str, because Python automatically describes it when you're telling a is equal to hello. It will get that a is a string type of data type, and you get it. Okay. Next, we will have b is equal to 1. Anybody knows what data type this is? Like the data type b, what is it? If possible, you can write it in the chat or tell me as you want. Okay, option. Car. No, not car. Integer. Yes, Antara it's integer. Yes. B is equal to 1 is an integer. Ornish integer. Yes, B is equal to 1 is an integer. So basically, numbers when stored in B and stuff is an integers. Also, if anybody has in C++, they will know about the stuff of like long and stuff. I don't think it's here, but here 1 is an integer. Also, C is equal to 1.1. Can anybody tell me what the data type of C is, if possible? Not. Yep. So we learned here that hello, these are like in their words. If you store words in a variable, this gets assigned as a string. So A here is a string. Okay. While B here, integer, and C here is a float. Float is a data type which is used to store point value integers or integers without decimal points. Right. Next, we will have the next data type T is equal to true, capital T, which I seem to forget, but I'm very forgetful. Yeah, whatever Prasad, yeah, it is a Boolean type of data. This is done in C++ and all, like you all know. I write it here, Boolean data type. Let me just confirm one thing. Yes, it is a bool here. Okay, by the way, it's not Boolean, it's supposed to be bool. Like, in case you want to refer something to the data type, we'll just write it as bool instead of Boolean in C++ because Python names it as bool, C++ names it as Boolean full, I think. Sure. Yeah. D is Boolean. And so, yeah, these are the 4 data types. I think you know about these on like C++ and stuff. Everybody has done it in C++. The names might be a bit different, but everybody has done this, I think. Okay. So next we'll have a different type of data type or data structure, whatever you may call it. This is E to 6. Anybody knows the data type of E? E or data type or data structure, however you want to refer it. Right now. Haryana array. জুমের উইন্ডো যায় গুলো কালো দেখাচ্ছে হ্যাঁ আই নো চ্যাটটা নিচে করে দিচ্ছি অলসো ইনক্রিজ yeah I will do it for you. Yes, so E is the data type known as thank you, Aten. Yeah. So E here is the data type which is known as a list. Array is what you call it in C++. Arrays are a bit different. Arrays are, I think, immutable data type. That is, you cannot change the values of the arrays. Okay. What immutable and mutable is, I will tell you in the later sections also. But basically, the difference is the value of the arrays that you put in it. I don't think you can change it. That's vectors in C++, I think. But here lists are mutable. That is the values, for example, E is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can write E is equal to 4 again, and it should work. But this is really relationship. No, different. Like E is equal to E plus 2. So it will add 2 to this list. So it is a mutable kind of list. Okay. That's the 5 main data types we'll be dealing with in C++. Also, F equals to none. Yeah, none is another day, I think, data type. F equals to this we won't be using much until you do some kind of error in your program and somehow you forget to return a value for your functions and all. It will return as none. Don't worry about that. You will not run into it. Basically, this is another kind of data type. This is when no specified like data type is given to the function, or it does not have a inherited like data type. Okay. So these were the like 5 main data types and 1 extra one, which is not really required. So any problems till now? You may ask me. No. Anybody else? Any problems? If you have, just ask me. I'll clear it out. What about dictionary and tuples? See, dictionary and tuples, we're not doing it for now because it's usually not. Yeah, none. Yeah, 1 second. I'll get it. Yeah, dictionary and tuples, I'm not doing it for now because those aren't really required that much because, you know, list is just a better tuple. I think everybody agrees for that. And dictionaries are not really required for like CP stuff. I'll do it in the later sessions. Okay, those are not as important. And none is like a data type when no specific like data type is there on the value. So Python describes it as now. For example, you want to print like a function. Print type. I think this should return none or an error. Yeah, see, print is a function. It's not a variable, right? So it does not itself has any data type. So what it does is it instead prints class none. So it has no data type. That's why it prints. Okay. I think that's clear. If clear, you can write yes. Thank you. Good. Yeah, I'm doing speaking C because this was extra area. Because I think ML got so there shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, so these are the data types. So now we have learned how to declare what we will work with. Next, we have to determine how we will work with the stuff because you can't just go on declaring data types to everyone. Then you have declared everything. You've declared, okay, this is a number, this is an integer, but I can't do anything with the integer and stuff. So what's the use? Okay. Next, we'll learn how to use these numbers. First of all, what do we want the program to do? We want the program to actually display something to us, right? So what should we do to display it? So like display the output or whatever of the program to the user who is using it. Anybody knows the function for it? Thank you, Ashton. I also approve. If anybody knows the function, they can tell it to me in the chat or you can speak to me as you want. Also, don't take it to be too formal because you know, I'm just chilling here. Don't be shy and all. Yeah, just I'm asking whether you know the like the function to like print or display whatever you're doing, whatever the work is done to the user, right? If you know, you can write it. Otherwise, I'll show it. Yeah, Vaibhav, you have provided correct. I shall show it. The Yep, Tony, you're also correct. The function is print. What does print do? The basic idea of print is it prints stuff, like shows stuff to the user after the work has been done. Otherwise, there's no user doing the function. Like the coding language, if everything is done in the inside and you can't see anything, it becomes weird. Like you are basically making it useless. Everything has been done, but nothing's been printed. So, yeah. So you print it. For example, you print hello. What print does is it displays this hello console. You will run the program. Prints hello. Yes. So as you can see, it printed the hello, so we can see the hello. So it worked. This is the first program ever you have written. If anybody is writing with me, I hope you are. Next, how to print a variable. So, for example, you declared a variable a equals 10. You want to print this variable because need it for something. Print a. We'll have 5. Gets printed as 10, and you know that a is 10. Good. You did work. Next, we print, for example, what? You have a variable, you want to print it. What should we do next? Two. For example, you have two variables. You have to print both of these in the same line with the space in between. What it will do? Anyone? If you know that is. Yes, Ornish, you're correct. Yes, Vaibhav, correct. Yes, Sudhir, correct. And yes, Ariana, you are correct. You print B, comma, C. This will result in printing in both the integers with the space in between. So after this, you basically know half of CP. After this, if you, sorry, after not this, I have to reduce the operators. You will know how to do CP. Then you will become CP dot. So after I'll teach you lesson loops. Yes. So that was how to print B and C. Next we will have like what? Okay, so now we have done print in a equals to 10, but here we are all giving the values already there. But you, what if you want the user themselves to enter the values? You can't always work with predetermined values now, is it? You will not always get that a equals 10. You have to get the value of a somehow from the user who is using the program. So what to do in that case? Anyone? Basically how to like take the value from the user and then use it for our programming stuff. Anyone? If they know the functions for that, that is. I don't really see any answers, so I guess I'll get it. Okay. So the function to take the values from the users for doing anything else. Input. What does input do? Input helps us to declare the value of a variable which we can take from the user. For example, we take a is equal to input and we say print a. Then we run the program. What happens is yes, so what happens here is you get the print a is equal to input. We take the input of the a, for example, we take a is 12, and it's printed, so it prints 12. I think that's fine. If the input of the value as a, then we print the value, printed is 12. All right. So next we want, but here the thing is, when you take the input of any random value and print it, a comma type of a. 12. See, here we took the input like a is equal to input. We took the input from the user, we take a value. Then we printed that value as a comma type of a. What happens? What happens is the value that we inputted, Python auto declares it as the data type string. But what if we want to use it for numerical functions? What should we do to the input? Like we have to use the thing for numerical functions. Anybody knows what to do with the input to get the type of a as integer? Perhaps. Any idea on that, if possible? Put it in the brackets. Which brackets? Int in the bracket, like which bracket that you're talking about? Can you just specify? In the input, mean like this. Let me ask you, can you write it? Yeah, you are pretty close, I'd say. It's not like this. What you do is you put int ahead of it. What does this do? You see, Python is a magical smart kind of language. Python gets that, oh yes, my user wants to get this kind of an integer, right? So he has put an int in front of it. So that means the input which I'm taking, I have to convert it to integer. So it takes the input of A as a string and converts it into an integer. So after that, if we run the program, yes, we included 12, it gives us an integer class. Okay. You can also do it in one more way, that is, you put the input and then you declare in a separate line that A is equal to integer of A. This should also work because A becomes integer value of A. It converts the string into integer because if you put int brackets anything in it, it will try to convert that to an integer if possible. Now, some data types may clash with it. For example, I think lists, I don't think should be converted to integers, and the characters themselves won't be converted to integer. Like you put it as A, it should not convert it to integer. For example, we took input of A as like what? A, yeah, it will throw an error that A is character A, so I cannot convert it into a number. That's not possible. So yeah, that's how it works. To A, and type of A, type of the value A. Okay. So any problems till now, till the input part and conversion from integer to all? If any problems, you can tell me. I tell you. Also, if I'm going a bit too fast, you can also tell me that because I think I might be because I'm a bit used to it and it's Python, so it's kind of easy and it gets easy to go too fast. Not at all. Thank you. Can we use outputs? Can we use win for displaying the output? What is win? Can you just tell it to me once? I'm not sure what you're asking. Like a dialog box, like a dialog box window. Yeah, we are using I'm using VS Code here. I think, wait, give me a second. Where is my Google tab? Yeah, if you're using JDoodle here, for example, and you take it as, I think you all are using JDoodle if you don't have VS Code and stuff. So you take it as int A, so A is equal to 20, it is execute. I have one question, sorry. How do we show the output in VS Code? Because I'm unable to do it. Oh yeah, to run the program in VS Code, to run the program in VS Code, just click Control plus F5. If you're on a laptop, then Control plus F and plus F5 for function stuff. I think you know that. Basically, Control plus F5 to run it. I think it should show the terminal automatically. If you have any problems with VS Code, I can help you debug it later on VC. For now, use JDoodle because VS Code is a bit VS Code. And VS Code stuff, it doesn't work for half of us. Even CP heads can't use it properly sometimes. So yeah, no issues there. It's VS Code. Yeah, so Any more questions? Otherwise, I'll move on to loops today. Also, if it displays, just give me a yes on VS Code, that is, and if it does not, I'll help you out after the session in VC alone if you have the time. If you do not, I'll just give you a general guide to using VS Code OPS and display too. So I think that's it for input and stuff. So I'm moving on to loops, I think, today. Any problems till here? I'm asking once more to make sure that you all are fine with it. Okay, others, any problems? If there are any problems, just ask me or something, or just write in the chat if you have one. And do like poke me and stuff if I'm moving too fast, because I tend to lose track of how fast I go. So if it gets like anything too fast, just tell it to me once. Fine with it. And don't have to be too formal with me once again. You can always chat on me on Discord. I am online 24/7 anyways. You can talk to me about whatever you want, even if it's like non-CB based or whatever. You have my contacts, I think. And if you tell to me stuff on WhatsApp, I'll not be there because WhatsApp bad. Yeah. So yes, I think everybody's fine. I don't see anything in the chat. So I'll move on to loops. Yes. Oh, okay, wait, I have one thing. Okay. So for CP stuff, those who are here for CP, this is for them itself, because it's like pretty important. Even if you're like, if you plan to take on CP, you can look at this. So in CP stuff, sometimes you have to take inputs like what? 12 space 13 space 14 this 14 space 15 together. Okay. So the problem with Python is it can't do this like C++, where you just C in A, B, C, D, E. Those who have learned C++ in like class 3 and 4 in a school, it can't just take a C in A, B, C, D, E together in the same line. Okay. So what we do is we use a little bit of list comprehension. So just remember this syntax, because there's no real explanation to it. For example, you need two integers to be inputted. Okay, should do it as a comma b equals to list of x for x in input what's split. Okay, just remember the syntax. If we ever want to take like n integers with spaces, a comma b comma c up to n, for x is equal to x for x in input or split. Okay, this will help you take input values like space wise, and I'll just print it to show it to you all in case it gets a bit too confusing what I'm meaning. I made a program. A is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, c is equal to 3, d is equal to 4. E is equal to a plus b plus c plus d. Print sum of a plus b plus c plus d is equal to e. Is it correct? Yes, it is correct, but the thing is your syntax is a bit wrong, because number one, this is C++. Also, yeah, those are this is Python. Those are coming from C++. You do not need the semicolons like you used to give this word, right? You don't need this in Python. Number one. And number two, in the print thing, there will be the brackets. Akshat, there will be the brackets there for print, like print A, the first bracket here, and rest is correct. Just don't give the semicolons, because I don't think it might show an error. I'm not sure. It's for months. Yes. 12 space 13. Yeah, it won't give an error, but I wouldn't say to give the semicolons, which is necessary. It's just inefficient to give stuff which is not necessary. What does split do? See, split does is, in general, what split does is it splits like line according to the spaces. Okay. For example, you have taken an input of a sentence and you want all the words in it, right? So what it does is you do a dot split. It will give us a list based on the spaces that like it will separate all the words based on the spaces. Okay. It's a bit advanced. So I'll cover it again in the next session also, so do not worry about it. This is basically just a syntax to remember for like CP people, how to take input in the single line with spaces. Okay. Because this is a pretty important thing in CP, because whenever you take input, it's always space separated, and Python does not do such stuff. So yeah. Don't fret about it too much. This is not something it's too important to know the meaning behind. I'll talk about lists later also. Lists is a bit of a bigger chapter. So yeah. I think that's input output done. If any problems here, you can ask me again. Otherwise, I'll go on to lists. Okay.
Sir, I had a question actually.
What else, sir?
Yes. So what is the full form of CP? You keep saying CP.
Sorry. Yeah, by mistake I said CP. CP means competitive programming. Thank you for reminding me. I think I keep forgetting stuff. As I've already told, I'm pretty forgetful in this stuff. Sorry. CP is competitive programming in the tech club. I think you have all taken the tech club department. Tech club department form link thing in the we have sent it to all. If we haven't, I think we should send it again in the summer camp. Can you send it? Perhaps.
Yes, sir. I'll send it after video, after
Yes.
class is over.
Yes, after the class is over, do send it there. You have the link to join the actual tech club and stuff. Their CP is the competitive programming department, which I would describe as masochism and pain, but also very fun to do if you get into it. So yeah, I do recommend joining CP if you like competitive. If you like doing programming within a time limit and doing it fast and efficiently, do join CP. I will absolutely welcome you, and we will do trolling. And due to moral obligations, I cannot call a certain language bad right now, but do remember it is bad. I will give the name to you in the competitive programming department. Do not worry. Yes. So input output is done. Next we will have loops. Okay. I hope you all are understanding. Just give me a yes here if you are. If you have any problems, just put it to me in chat whenever. I'm also available off classes. So here we are working on to. Please show any example with that sentence. This last one, right? Okay. Here I have given the example. I'll show you. 5. I think the zoom menu is hiding. Right? Zoom that. Why did we adopt zoom? Yes. Should have just got into Google Glasses to be honest. Yeah. So we have a comma b is equal to x for x and input as split. Okay. So we take the input as 12. This 12 is the input of a. Then we give a space. Space is the separation which split detects it. Split tells, oh yes, there's a space here. So he's taking the next value as input after this space. So we give the next value as 30 or 134, whatever. Okay. Then we have got the input. Then we print A and B. So the program thinks, okay, we have got A 12 as the first input. Now there is a space. So now that there is a space, split checks it. Split tells, okay, there's a space. So we'll now start taking the next input. After the next input, B is done. Then A is 12, B is 134. We print A and B. A gets printed, A is 12. B gets printed, B is 134. Okay, is that clear? Yeah, if in case, basically just remember this is to take like inputs with spaces in middle of it. Okay. Can you just assess split once? Yeah, split basically checks for spaces. Okay. Like it checks for if like 12 and 13, there's a space in the between, right? So it checks for spaces. After the space is there, it will start to like redo the function stuff again. Like for example, like this is a bit, I'll teach you split again afterwards, because right now it's a bit hard to explain since you have not done lists. Okay. When I teach you lists and stuff, I'll teach you split again. So don't worry about it that much. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. If it's fine, just shoot me yes, and I'll start with loops. So what is looping? Good interaction. Thank you for the interaction, guys. And yeah. So what is lists? Sorry, what is loops? Keep getting confused. Yeah. So sometimes you're, for example, at home. You want to. You have like, for example, you're doing maths. Here 5 sums to you. You want to finish all the 5 sums. Now you want your program to finish the 5 sums for you. But you do not want to keep on running the program like what, 5 times, 6 times for each sum. It gets very like tiresome, continue to give on inputs and stuff. So what we do instead, we loop it. That is, we make the program run itself 5 times, finish those 5 sums. Okay. So how do we do looping? For example, we have like math sum problem. There are 2 forms of loops. Okay. Once the for loop, this is the one we'll use the most used loop that is in Python. Like you don't use other loops in case like there are some edge cases where you use the other loops, but for is the most used. So remember. So we have, for example, for I in range. So there will be this here. This that in range 1, 4. A, B. Sorry, wait. Sorry. Right. Having up the syntax into the zone. A is equal to input, B is equal to input, A plus B. This A plus B plus is an operator. I'll also teach it to you after this. It basically adds the 2 numbers. I think most of you know about this because you all have done like C++ in class 4 and all. So I'm not going into too much details of it. I think you'll print A plus B. F5. Okay. So what do you think will be the output of this program? You can write in a chat. Anyone like what is the expected result of this program? And if you're not interested in chat, you can also talk to me. Comfortable that is. Plus 3 equals 5. I think that might be incorrect, but A plus B, A plus B, A plus B, A plus B question mark. Sunil, you were almost correct, I would say. You were just a bit, I mean, I would have gotten it wrong the first time, to be honest myself, because the function, it's an infinite loop. No, the second part is wrong. It's not an infinite. I will have to leave the class. Sorry, I have somewhere to go. Okay, no problem, Vaibhav. We are recording the session anyways. So you'll get it like after the class. So do not worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, thanks to you two for attending the class too, because I mean, we will do it anyways and you'll attend the classes. So it's more of a thanks to you. Yeah, if you're, thanks. Anyways, yeah. Stella wrote 3 times A plus B. Yes, Stella, you are correct. Thank you for giving the correct answer. It will prompt us to get A plus B 3 times. 1, 2. You can say, oh wait, sorry, no, it's not A plus B. Sorry. I did a bit of error because it's strings and stuff. So it will print A and B as strings. So we'll have to convert integers. Bit of an issue there. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 5, 6, 11. Okay, and the full output. And it got cut. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So for I in range 1, 4, what it does is we have I here, right? I is a variable. Python does what Python does is it stores the values. It assigns the value 1 to I at first. Okay, because I is in range 1. It first stores the value I to 1. After that, it runs the program that we have written inside it, which is A is equal to integer input, B is equal to integer input. Then it prints A plus B. Then after that, what it does is the for loop. It increases the value of I by 1. So now I becomes 2. Then it again does the program. Then it makes I 3. Then it again does the program. But when I becomes 4, the loop checks for always when the value of I is being incremented, the loop checks whether I is equal to 4. If at any point I is equal to or greater than 4, it will terminate the loop. Okay. So the maximum value of I here is from I belongs from 1 to 3. So it will run the loop 3 times. So basically what it does is for I in range x comma y, it runs the loop y minus x times. Okay. There are other ways to like configure this loop, like from behind to forward to, but in the end it becomes all the same. So this is like the main syntax that we should know for I in range x comma y. Okay. So any problems there? If was you can tell me. Yeah, why 3 times is because I at first is 1, then I is added, so it becomes 2. Then it becomes like added, so it becomes 3. Okay. So I becomes 1 comma 2 comma I is assigned values from 1. Like I first becomes what it does here. I'm the first iteration I is equal to 1. Okay. Then program happens I plus 1. Okay, I becomes 2. Next, it again goes back to the loop start. So it checks I is equal to 2. That's fine. It will again run the program. But it has to like end the program. And when it ends the program, that is when I is equal to or greater than 4. Okay. Whenever I is greater than equals to 4, it will end the program. So I can only get the values 1, 2, 3 here. Okay. So it runs the program 3 times. Did you get it? If it's fine, you can tell it to me. If you still have an issue, I'll today. I see. Good. So yeah, here I will run. So basically what for x in range this comma this does is it gets an x. Then it checks whether then x is in this range, upper range that we have described for. It's fine. There's no problem. Also, no need to call me a sir because it's an informal stuff. You can call me bhaiya or whatever. If you're in class 11 or 12, no need to call me bhaiya or whatever. Just refer to me as okay, sorry, sir. Funny. Anyways, yes. For I in range 1, 4. Yeah, so what it does is it takes the value of I, it assigns it the first integer that is given. For example, we have given it I is equal to 1, so I becomes 1. Then what the loop does is it runs the program. After finishing running the program, it adds 1 to I. Okay, so next I becomes 2. It will keep on doing this until I is either equal to the second value or it is greater than the second value. Then the program ends. Okay, when after that the loop breaks up and the program ends. It no longer does this entire program. So I think you all got it. If you did not get it, you can ask it out here. Any doubts there? If yes, just ask me because I'm not the best at like explaining stuff that well. If you have any issues, I'll also be there in the DMs for that because I'm better at texting and stuff than actually explaining. That's not my best suit. Yes. So any doubts? Anyone? If no, just write it to me. No doubts. That would help me to know if you don't have any doubts. We do not see anything there in the no doubts or doubts thing. So I keep getting an error. Can you tell me what error you're getting? describe the error. I'll try to do it. You have given this colon here, right? For I in range 1, 6, A is equal to int input, B is equal to integer input, print A times B. Yeah, I think it's correct. Let me try it out. Yes. Yeah, it should run, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's running. It's running. The program itself is correct. So I don't know. There might be some issues with the compiler input. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. See, in Python, there's a thing known as indentation. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. There's the thing called indentation. Indentation is basically after you given colon, you have to leave 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Okay, no more or no less. If you leave any lesser or any more spaces, it might lead to an error. So just leave 4 spaces. The best way to leave 4 spaces at once is by pressing tab. Tab by default leaves us 4 spaces. So that's what indentation is for. Okay. I think it might be an indentation error, but I'm not sure. So yeah, anybody else any questions up to this loop? Then I can go into the other loops.
Bhaiya,
Yes.
before
Yes.
this, before you put the ints in,
Yes.
when you put 1 and 2, it printed 12. Why was that?
Okay, that thing, see, when it printed 1 and 2 is 12, that is because at that time I had not put in the int sign. So what it did was, it took the values of A and B as strings. Okay. Now Python is a magical language thing because Python is smart, but he's a bit too smart for his own good, so it becomes slow at the end. So what it does here is, for example, we took the input of A as 1 and B as 2. So what it does is it thinks of those as characters, 1 and 2. So it's like English. For example, at this point, we're writing English. It took English word as 1, English word as 2. So if we are in English, if we're adding words, then it just adds the character together, right? Like for example, it took I and N, it adds I and N, it makes in, like the word in. So it does the same here. It takes A as 1, B as 2, both English characters, and then adds it to forms 12. Okay, I think it's clear to everyone.
Yes, Bhaiya. But what if you put instead of 1 and 2, what
Yes,
if you combine characters and numbers? Like say you put A and 10, what would happen then?
I think if you put A and 10, it should work, but don't quote me on that. Yes, it works.
Okay,
Congratulations.
Bhaiya.
Swapnil Bhaiya taught this yesterday. Yes, Swapnil Bhaiya good at teaching. I can confirm. He's the not even Bhaiya. I just call him sir. He's like in college. He's going to pass out of college too. Call him sir. Okay, I told him told you all to call him sir if you are doing the J's stuff. Yes, so A is equal to input, B is equal to input. So we have finished it off. Yes. Yeah. So basically what it did here, I think you all got it. If you have any issues with what it did here, you can just ask me. And I hope I am once again teaching at pace, not too fast, because I have an issue of teaching a bit too fast. Anybody has any problems, just write it to me in chat. I'll look into it. And I think we'll be continuing the sessions for like 5 minutes more, because I think an hour is going to pass off and we will finish up with the for loop. And after this, I think I'll give you an assignment for you all to do. If possible, just finish it off. If you have any problem with the assignment, you can also contact me on Discord or on WhatsApp. I have a higher probability of answering you earlier on Discord because I'm 20% online on Discord. So yeah. Any problems, you can write it to me in chat, any kind of errors and stuff that you're getting in JDoodle or whatever. I have pinged you on our JDoodle. If you have any issues using it, I'll teach you that too. Actually, you know what? I should teach you how to use JDoodle first. I think this loop is clear, right? To everyone. Just confirm it to me once in chat. I'll teach you how to use JDoodle in case you're having any trouble. Make sure you're finishing up with the assignments. Yes, sir. Thank you, Arya. Next, well, anybody else? Any problems? If yes, just confirm. Yes, Dada. Anshuman, thank you for calling me Dada. Also, don't call me Sir Arya. This Sir seems weird. Not weird, but just like a pardon. Okay, Arya, very funny calling me Sir. Continue. Thank you. Okay, so I'll assume you all got it, right? Just I'm waiting for 5 more minutes. Dude, I'm so lost with JDoodle. Yeah, I'll get into it right now. Please, do not. I'm extremely sorry for not teaching it earlier. I should have taught it to you. I'm sorry. I'll do it right now. So yeah, doubts equals none. This equals none is a bit sassy thing. Okay, don't write equals because as soon as you write equals, I remember equals 6, which Aten had done one day, and that was bad. Do remember Python equal to in for and stuff is really better. So yes, I am teaching you how to do the JDoodle stuff because people are lost in it. Yes. Control the not small size one. Hello, Swapnil sir. It should be smaller. Yes. Okay. Hello, news. Hey, don't say you're new student. You're in college. You're going to job. No, sir. Don't say such things, please. Don't be so humble. Yes. So how to use JDoodle? Okay. First, yeah, I know you're always a student. That's what you call us. Yeah. Okay. So first, we write A equals 10, B equals 20. I think I've taught you this. Print A, print B. Sorry, B. Okay. So in JDoodle, to take inputs, you're supposed to give it here. First, I'm going to show you how to do the basic stuff. You click execute. After you click execute, it shows you the outputs here. Okay. So I think this is self-explanatory. I don't need to explain this. Yeah, I don't need to explain this to you. I think it's fine, right, guys?
What is stdin inputs?
Stdin, I'm getting to it. Do not worry. Just give me a minute. It's fine, right? This A is equal to print A, print B. It's fine. If any issues, just tell me. You'll run it once yourselves too, to be honest. Because otherwise, yeah, okay, it's fine. Thank you. So next we are going to do one thing with input. So in A is equal to int input A. Okay. So we have to take input A, right? But you're like, oh, where to take the input? stdin input. Just give A as 12, it executes, it prints 12. So now you know how to take inputs. That's fine. Also, yeah, I think this is easy. I don't think anyone should have a problem. I know you all are smart because you all have taken Python. So yes. For x in input split at A split here, put a split. Okay. So print A and comma B. This is to take the inputs. Wait, there would have been one. Yeah. This is to take the input in spaces. Okay, as I taught you, but for x in input. Sorry, if anybody got confused there. Yeah, this is to take input with spaces and to print it with spaces. I had shown you during the class. I think you all should get it how to do it on JDoodle now. Any problems here? Like up to here, just write the code once and run it yourselves. That should help you get into it. If you're finished running with the code, just give me a message. I'll run the loops one. And after running the loops one, I think we will end the class. If you have any issues after ending the class, you can contact me on Discord. Archishman also known as Datin, is also there. His DMs are always open. In case of any doubts, always ask him. He's very good at taking DMs. It didn't run, it showed an error. Can you send your code once? You took the input as STDI input with spaces, right? Like you have to take it spaces. Also not taking with like this. This won't input in case you are using this like input split. It needs at least two. Okay. TP for X in inputs, that's X for X in input or split, print A comma B. I think that works fine. It's where I'm copy pasting. It should work, I think. Execute. Yeah, it's working fine. You're taking the inputs like this, right? So with one number, space, one number. Because the code is working, I think, hopefully. Working for me. Oh, it worked. Yeah, that's fine. I got a bit scared that I did something wrong or something. It's fine that it worked. Thanks. Yeah, so in case of these like input things which I've shown you here, you're supposed to take it with spaces depending on the number of like variables you have defined here. Like A comma B comma C, for example. We'll take 12 comma 12 comma 13, execute it. 12 comma 12 comma 13. So print A comma B comma C. C, you execute it again. Print A comma B comma C. Okay. You have to match the number here with here, otherwise it might throw an error. Yeah, it will throw an error. Match the numbers there with this, otherwise it will throw an error. Okay. Also, don't give any extra space. Like give an extra space, it might extra space. Just match the numbers here with the numbers of this here, otherwise it will get. Okay. So this one is done. Finally, the looping thing for I range 1, 4. See, it auto tabs for you here. Okay. If it, in case it does not auto tab, you just press tab on your keyboard. It's above the caps lock key, I think. For most people, it should be above the caps lock key, even all. So yeah, in case it doesn't auto tab, but it does auto tab in JDoodle. So just press enter here. A is equal to. So how to hack Minecraft using Python? Now Minecraft is written in a language whose name I will not take due to me being a bit biased towards it, and other people might get angry at me for that. So yes. Yes, Arya, you're absolutely correct. That is a bad language. Okay, sorry, the 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Executes. Yeah, I should be it. So, yeah, take these as inputs. Don't be like me. I'm dumb sometimes. Sometimes, as in most of the times. Yeah, so it in case you're taking like looping inputs, right? In JDoodle, you have to already give all the values there. So, like for example, you took 1, 4, you will have to print all the 8 values of A, B. Otherwise, it will throw an error. Right? Nah, it throws an error. So, finish giving all the values, then print the numbers. Then click execute. Otherwise, it will run into an error. Okay. So just run it out once. After you finish running out, I think we'll end the session for today. If you like the session, just give some feedback to me on the Discord, even in DMs if you liked it. I don't have any issues. But I would suggest giving it in Python in general because DMs get flooded and many notifications. And I think you all also don't like getting too many notifications, hopefully. Unless you do, then that's different. All right, just run this one once and the next class I'll inform you when we'll have it. Yeah, do please like, share, comment, and subscribe on the channel. We'll give you the videos too. Let me just end the recording. 1 second. Wait, I'll end it later. I just finish running this. I'll stop the screen share after you finish running, and then we'll finish up with the recording, and the class will be over. And do comment, like, share, and subscribe, and share to your friends. Maybe drop a Twitch subscriber or something. Whatever. Also, if you want to see my open tabs, here is Homey, uses of Python, abstraction C++. I just Googled this before the class because I forgot whether the uses of Python in actual stuff, and abstraction C++ is because we were discussing stuff. So, yeah. And I'm not showing you all my history because that is bad. Yeah, so if it worked, just give me a yes here, and I'll end the session after. Okay, so it's basically over. Just run it off once. Give me a yes. I'll finish. Yep, it ran. So Genshin. Ah, yes, Genshin folder. Tunir with the eyes. Good, good. Anyways, yeah, so class is over for today. What? And what did you see? And what is this? Stop share. And so, yeah, the class is over for today. I hope you all enjoyed the session. If you did, sir, will you play BGM? I know that is bad game, mobile gaming bad. Yeah, so the class is over for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. And thank you for joining. Hope you all had fun. And I would hope you all interact a bit more or stay interactive with me during the chat or whatever you can. And yeah, so that's about it. See ya.